Have you ever had a particular Uber Lyft ride where a passenger was just absolutely crazy? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about right now, and also some ways that you can handle some of those situations. Hey everyone, Chris here for the Rideshare Guy, and today we're going to be talking about the worst type of passengers and how you can handle that type of situation with some real-world examples, some of the things that I may have done in previous rides if I was in that type of situation, and just going to talk about what they are. The first type of passenger that you want to watch out for are the entitled passengers. These are the people who will demand things from you even though it's not supposed to be that way. These are the type of people that will call up Uber, Lyft, and complain for whatever reason. They'll probably give you low ratings. And if they start off with just a simple text demanding something like the AC being on, or the heat being on, or the windows up or down, or some sort of demand right off the bat, it's only probably going to get worse from there. Now, how you can handle this type of passenger is if you see one of these texts come in and it's demanding and you don't want to deal with it, just cancel the ride. Now, if they're already in the car and they're demanding certain things, and it can range from a lot of different things, but if they're in the car and they're demanding something, they're belittling you, whatever it might be, the easiest thing is try to get through the ride with a smile on your face, bite your tongue, whatever it might be, act professional. But if they really get out of hand, you can always pull over in a well-lit area in a safe spot and ask them to leave the car because the ride is going to be canceled. So it's going to be up to you on your thresholds on where you want to go, but always watch out for the entitled passenger because most likely they're going to rate you low. They're going to contact Uber or Lyft for whatever type of reason it is and complain, and it could just cause some headaches for you. The second type of passenger to watch out for is the drive-through requests. Well, actually, not the drive-through requests, the drive-through demands. So we all had that type of person that said, take me to Taco Bell or take me to McDonald's. I want to go through the drive-through. I want to get some food. So again, it's a little bit of entitlement with demands, but it's also with the drive-through because the drive-through can be a problem because you could be sitting there for 20, 30 minutes and you're not really getting paid for that. Yeah, you're getting paid by the minute, but it's usually cents on the dollar per minute. So in actuality, you're really not making any money there. Also, if you have a rule in your car that says no food or drink, you kind of want to stick to that rule. Also, if they're demanding, it's going to be off-putting. You're not going to be happy. And again, these are the type of people that are probably going to rate you low no matter what. They're not going to tip. They're going to cause problems. And it's one of those things that you just kind of want to just let them know, hey, look, I'm sorry, I can't take you, and try to be as professional and courteous as possible, especially if you have another ride in the queue. And this does happen from time to time. So if you have another ride in the queue and they demand you take them to whatever restaurant it might be, then again, professional, courteous, and say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. There's different services that can have food delivered to you. You can do that, but stick to your guns, especially if you have a rule that says no food or drink in your car. And again, this is somebody who's demanding drive-thrus. If somebody asks nicely, it can have a whole different perspective on how that situation might go. They actually might have a bigger incentive to go. They're not going to be the entitled passenger demanding a drive-thru. They're going to be asking simply and nicely. And then again, if you have that rule saying no food or drink, you can stick to that. If it's busy or something like that, or again, you have a ride in the queue, you can let them know, just however you want to do it. But for that type of passenger that demands a drive-thru versus asking for the drive-thru, asking nicely is going to go much, much further than demanding something from the driver. The next type of passenger is a threatening passenger. And this is somebody that threatens you, your car, safety, whatever it might be. And this can be very difficult to pick up on right off the bat when they're getting in your car because things can just escalate very quickly. One of the things that you want to try to do is try de-escalating situations as best as possible. Each and every single encounter is going to be unique in its own way, but there are certain practices that you can follow that's pretty much across the board. You just have to tailor it to what specific individual is happening, what type of scenario is playing out, and kind of tailor it to that to try to de-escalate any situation, especially when it comes to safety. With that being said, if you truly fear for your life, for your safety, for another person's safety within your car, call the police immediately, pull over, whatever you have to do to try to put yourself in a safe manner and separate from that particular individual that could cause you harm or another person type of harm. If you see somebody who's aggressive right off the bat, meaning when they're getting in the car, they're aggressive to the people around them, they're aggressive when they're coming to the car or interacting with you when you're trying to verify who they are by keeping your doors locked and rolling down the window to see and verify that person is the correct person. If you notice something's off and you just have this weird suspicion, then again, this is something where if you don't feel safe taking the ride, you can definitely cancel it. But again, if they're already in the car, that can be a big problem, and you just have to make sure you can do what you can to try to de-escalate a situation or make sure you or the other passengers in the car are safe as well. Now, the next type of passenger that you want to watch out for could be the unscheduled stop type of passenger, where they're saying, oh, if you could stop here or there, or try to get multiple stops than just one extra stop that's not on the map. So there could be a pickup and a drop off, and then they're like, oh, can we go stop here? Can we go stop there? I got to go pick something up at this person's house. I got to go to the grocery store and go shopping. Well, the unscheduled stop could be a problem for a couple of different reasons. First, if you deviate from the map and you go off course, the customer can actually call up and complain and say they went off course and then have the route recalculated, where they're going to get the original cost of what the route was, and it's going to leave you out that extra money. Not only that, if you have another customer in queue, then it's going to elongate the time, and then they can actually get upset and mad because they're not seeing what's happening. They're not understanding what's going on. That you can send a text message to that person as well, saying, hey, look, I'm on a stop. You're going to have to hold on a minute. But it's all going to come down to if you're going to take that stop or not. So the number one rule I would say is try to have them add the stop if you're able to. You can always say, no, I'm sorry, I can't take the stop because I have another person in the queue and it's not accounted for that extra time. Or you can say, yeah, sure, but I need you to put it in the app itself. That way it's going to cover you if they try to call and complain saying, well, the route was changed because they're the ones who put it in. So that's one thing that you can do. If they don't know how, you can pull over to the side of the road into a parking lot and say, here, I'll show you how to do it. And you can do it that way. And it's, again, going to protect you as a driver. And also, if you don't have a particular ride in the queue coming up, then it's going to hold off on putting that passenger into a queue until the final stretch of the ride. And when it comes to stops, remember, these stops are only supposed to be quick, 3 to 5 minutes, nothing really more than that, unless it's slow, unless it's a long ride, unless it's surge, whatever it might be. There's always exceptions to the rule, but try to always keep it around 3 to 5 minutes. If you see somebody going to the grocery store and they're probably going to be going shopping and spending 10 minutes to an hour or something shopping, you have to tell them, look, I can drop you off here, but I cannot stay. You're going to have to order another ride. These are all types of things that you can say and let them know. And if they leave stuff in the car because they think that they're going to outsmart you and leave that stuff in the car, let them know, hey, you only have about 5 minutes in this place. That's all I can stop for. If you're longer than that, I have to cancel the ride. You'll have to order another one and take all of your belongings with you. If they leave the stuff in there, and again, it's 3 to 5 minutes and beyond, and you gave them that timer, you can send them a text message and say, hey, are you coming out? If they say, yes, I'm going to be another minute, that's up to you if you want to wait. I personally would. But if they're not answering or anything like that, cancel the ride and take those belongings to the nearest green light hub or police station or wherever, and let them know that's where they can pick that stuff up. Now, a few other types of passengers that you really want to watch out for are the passengers that are drunk. And again, it can go from 0 to 100 in just about that. So anything can set them off. It can be a very hard time. But on the flip side, it can actually be a really, really fun time. Just depends on how things are going, how the situation and scenario is presenting itself. But again, when you see these types of people, just try to, get them where they have to go as quick as possible and as safe as possible. If you notice that they're not going to feel well and they're starting to get sick, it's always a good idea to have puke bags on hand. Hand them one just in case. And if they don't, well, then get it back. But if they do, at least it's not going in your car, getting it out of commission. Or if they say, hey, can you pull over as quick as possible and let them do their business outside. So drunk people can be a lot of fun, but can also be a big problem. Whole scope of people at that point, for sure. Then the next, the anti-maskers. Again, it's policy. I don't care if you're for or against masks. It's policy. It's Uber and Lyft's policy. Just put on a mask for the ride. No big deal. We're all wearing masks. A lot of people don't want to, but they're doing it just because within a vehicle itself, you're very close with another person and you don't necessarily know where they are. So again, if they're going to give you trouble when it comes to masks, you can cancel on them if you'd like to. Now, the next type of passenger that you want to watch out for is the know-it-all type of passenger. And this is where they know it all. So when they're talking and you're conversing, they know everything. And even if you know that they're wrong on something or in particular, or it's an opinion and you have an opposite opinion of that, then just nod your head, say, oh yeah, sure, and go on to the next, because just agree with them. That's the easiest thing you can do. I know they can be very annoying, especially if they have different views than you and you're adamant about those views. We're all people trying to get along in this world. We may have differences of opinions. We may think different things, but just smile and nod and get them off to their drop-off location, because these type of people, again, are usually just venting, whatever it might be, and there's no real big issue when it comes to that particular passenger. They just are, again, pretty annoying. The next type of passenger you want to watch out for are the cheapskate passengers, and this is people who are going to try and scam you by pulling fast ones, trying to fit more passengers in the car than what's allowed for that particular ride, trying to get you to do something and saying, hey, I'll tip you in the app, or I'll make it worth your while, or whatever it is. Most of the time, it's not going to pan out in your favor. And usually those types of requests are against the law. So again, stay in charge. You're the driver. Make sure you follow the rules of the road and also the rules that you have placed in your own car. The next passenger, and probably one of the most annoying passengers, at least for me, is the control freak. This is the backseat driver who is trying to control the car, who is telling you where to go, even though the map says otherwise, and a few different things when it comes down to it. Maybe they're trying to control the radio. Maybe they're trying to control the air conditioning or heating system. They're trying to tell you where to go. Whatever it is, they're trying to be the ones who are in control and can make it very, very hard for you to focus on the road and very unsafe for you if they're getting under your skin. Again, for me, those are probably the most annoying type of passenger. I don't know if you agree or not, but it is very difficult when it comes to it. Now, there are different ways when it comes to how you present that as a passenger. So if you're a passenger and saying, hey, look, the map usually takes you this route, but it's a little easier if you take this way, that's fine. That's cool. But if you say, oh, turn here, and you're getting in the driver's face, that's a problem. I've had that happen one time when I was picking somebody up from the bar and literally going around the corner, and they were getting in my face by saying, oh, turn here. And it was an unsafe situation. So something like this, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and hope that it's a really short ride. But if it's a longer ride and they're making it unsafe for you to drive, you can pull over and again, have them get out of the car and cancel the ride there. Or you can pull over and say, look, you're making it unsafe. I know where I'm going. I've been doing this for a long time. Please let it go. Something like that. Another bad type of passenger that you need to watch out for are the racist passengers. Now, they could be going off for whatever reason. Try to act as professional as you can. If you have to, pull over, kick them out, cancel the ride, and move on. Make a report to Uber or Lyft saying that they were on a racist tirade, whatever it is. But again, we're all equal. We're all people trying to go from day to day on this planet we call Earth. So let's treat everyone with the same respect, and we should be much better. Unfortunately, some people don't think that way, and you can just leave them to the curb. That's pretty much it. And the last horrible type of passenger is the minor who thinks that they're going to get a ride. Now remember, Uber and Lyft's policies state it's 18 years or older. There are no unaccompanied minors. If somebody orders an Uber or Lyft and there's nobody over the age of 18 in that car, you as a driver cannot take them. There's many reasons for this. First off, liability. You assume 100% of liability because it's against terms of service for Uber and Lyft. So if you get into an accident or anything like that, it's 100% on you. Insurance will not pay for any damages whatsoever because of that little policy within Uber and Lyft. Then your personal insurance will unlikely cover you as well because you might not have the correct insurance. And also it's supposed to revert to Uber and Lyft's insurance, which again, like I said, they won't pay for because of it's against the terms of service. Then on top of it, if there's any lawsuits or anything, you as a driver are 100% on the hook. So stop taking minors. It's against the rules. It's not worth the $3 or $5 if something happens. Just don't do it. All right, those are some of the worst types of passengers out there. And I want to know what your worst type of passenger is. I told you the backseat driver, the control freak, I think is the most annoying type of passenger. And then anybody who puts your safety in jeopardy is another horrible type of passenger. So comment below, let me know what you think is the worst passenger. And then also, if you have a couple of different de-escalation tips, or if you've been in a similar situation, comment below with what happened to you and how you handled that type of situation. Now, if you experienced one of the types of passengers that I explained in the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you do, because there's new videos each and every single week coming out on the news of what's going on within the gig economy, how to make more money, and some different tips and tricks as a rideshare driver, delivery driver, and other when it comes to the gig economy. All right, everyone, drive safe.